Hi there, welcome back on the channel. Today we have another interesting one. It's the BYD Sealion 7, which, to be honest, I'm quite impressed with once again. Yeah, I know lately I filmed only BYDs, but it's the only manufacturer that I've got entrance to. Let me close the sunshade because it seems to be a bit too sunny outside. So yeah, let's check it out. Well, it's an interesting configuration. It's not a top trim, but it doesn't show it. Let me insert the exterior footage with the car to see what I'm talking about. Good news is the BYD Sealion 7. Alright, we have another BYD to review. As I said, I do kind of get the cars officially nowadays, so that's why I'm only posting them in English. So yeah, what you gonna do? But let's get to the car. It's one of the bigger models that they're offering here in Romania. It's in design trim, so not the top model, not the excellence, but it's pretty similar with that one in regard of the powertrain, because it does have two electric motors, one on the front, one on the back, developing about 513 horsepower and 690 Newton meters of torque, which is plentiful to be honest. Considering the fact that the vehicle does weigh about 2.3 towards 2.4 tons, it means that the sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour happens in about 4.5 seconds. You don't believe me? They have it written on the back. There's a badge exactly for that. Like you would otherwise find on the Seal model that I already reviewed here on the channel. Oh, and the top speed for this one, it's 215 km per hour. Right, so we do have an interesting design, to be honest, with this rear spoiler that allows the air to flow over the back of the car, and also to not need a rear screen wiper, something like that. But considering that the car does have enough power, it's supposed to be with a large battery as well on board. Well, I don't know. Okay, so this is the design trim, as I said. The difference between this one and Excellence is actually the battery, because this one, it does have a smaller battery. You do not get a head-up display, and also the interior upholstery, I think that's the word, is not real leather. On Excellence trim, you do get Napa leather. Quite interesting, to be honest. But anyway, getting back to the battery, yeah, you have 800 volt architecture. It does run the nominal voltage is around 550, and it's a 84 kilowatt hour gross capacity with a bit over 82 usable. The Excellence model does have a 91 kilowatt hour usable capacity, so there's a big difference actually, because the powertrain otherwise it's identical. Charging 11 kilowatts AC and 150 DC, with the bigger battery going up to 230. In terms of range, I don't know, the car shows 22 in terms of consumption, but I managed to take it on the highway with something about 140 kilometers per hour and 4 people inside, and I got a bit over 30. It was 32, to be honest. So yeah, something like 200 plus kilometers of range on the highway and somewhere around 400 in everyday use scenario. Regarding the main trunk area, yeah, you do get an opening here, which is a bit lower down for my taste, and it does get easily covered in dirt. You have a load cover, which once again I'm not a fan of. As you can see, the space towards the back seats, it's a bit weird, but I'm not a good fan of the cover in this way in any car actually. The trunk area, it's not amazing, to be honest. You do lose some space probably because you have quite a lot of space inside the cabin, but anyway, a couple of speakers from the sound system and also the subwoofer in here, the other one on the other side, a hook, some light fixtures, a storage space with a small net, and if we look under the cover, we do get quite a deep well. Also, the cover of the trunk area can be adjusted. If I remove the carry-on luggage, as you can see, I can raise the boot floor, so that's actually the usable space that you will most likely use every day. It does have quite an interesting face, to be honest, and yeah, you do get a front trunk. Being an electric car, it seems quite obvious, to be honest, and yeah, it's a useful space. I mean, come on, look at it. You can store quite a lot of things in here, not necessarily the charging cables, because I might not. I do have a problem with the opening of the hood. Presumably after some years, if you don't have roadside assistance, maybe you would not store them in here. But other than that, whatever you do not want to go around in the main trunk area, when you're on some twisty road, maybe you could store it in here. Well, as I said, it doesn't show it. You could actually buy the entry-level model and it sort of looks the same once again, with some tiny differences regarding the brakes, whatever. Other than that, on the inside as well, it seems quite similar. Depending on the trim, you get some additional features or not. I don't necessarily feel the lack of a head-up display, but anyway. Other than that, the interior as well feels quite nice, and I'm a bit curious to see one of this in excellence trim with the Napa leather. But until then, let's check out the footage with the interior of the car. Yeah, I do have plenty of space back here, both in terms of headroom and especially knee room. Even though my seat is a bit upright, as you can see, the whole bench can be pushed a bit further back, but yeah, you sacrifice a bit of trunk space. If you want to gain trunk space, you use it like this, and to be honest, come on, it's more than fine as well. Yeah, my knees are a bit high, considering that it is an SUV. I would have preferred the bench to be a bit higher mounted, but if I stretch out, because I can stretch without a problem, then I reach the bench without a problem. My knees are a bit lower down, but I still don't get enough under-thigh support. Even so, but the materials obviously are quite good back here, with a lot of interesting materials. The door handle here, some additional cubbies on the door card as well. The grab handle in an electric car, nice. Some lighting, the panoramic roof, pockets on the back of the seats, 3 of them actually. You do get some air vents back here and heated seats, a couple of USB ports, a completely flat floor, so you could use the middle seat as well, or you could use this armrest, which does have an interesting combi in here, which is covered, and more interesting than that, a couple of cup holders that are actually adjustable. I quite like them. So this is the inside view of the driver of the BYD Sealion 7, with quite a large steering wheel, and it's a bit angled like this. At least that's my impression of it. with nice materials, to be honest. Physical buttons. On the left side you control the left side of this instrument cluster, and the adaptive cruise control, and also the 360 cameras of the car. On the right side you control the multimedia, and with this button the right side of the instrument cluster. Once again, a bit weird, but anyway, physical controls for wipers and lights behind the steering wheel. As I said, the gauge cluster. You could see some additional information with a timer to test that 4.5 seconds to 100 kilometers per hour, or the most useful one in my opinion, the map. And you can also set it to full view, but you have to use the infotainment screen for that, and it stays like that actually. On the left side, as I said, you do get this consumption. Let me get rid of the reflection. You get the tire pressure and also the temperature in each tire, which is nice to see, and some additional consumption for the past 50 kilometers, which is not relevant in my opinion anyway. Other than that, the materials, like in the back, are quite nice, even up here on the door card. The grab handle is right here, another one lower back, physical controls for the automatic electric windows and outside mirrors. You get the trunk opener from here, and also an interesting cubby. The lights are once again a bit weird. In the back or on the passenger side you have white light, but on the driver's side it's blue, and I'm not sure why. Anyway, the cover of the panoramic roof can be operated through here. The mirror is dimmable, only this one, the outside mirrors are not, and it's frameless. The infotainment screen, yeah, I do like it, it's quite snappy, and it does this. Once again, wow. Anyway, not a fan. At least they didn't waste a button on the steering wheel for this function. The 360-degree cameras are quite nice actually, and you can use transparent engine even though it's an electric car, this view, or you can switch the whole car to be transparent, sort of. Anyway, what more, you could see the tires, the front one, the back tires, or all four. Once again, quite interesting. Other than that, yeah, you do get a snappy infotainment screen with some estimation on the destination if you're using the inbuilt sat-nav, even though it doesn't show like it has internet connection, but anyway, but I would not trust it, to be honest. As I said, I took it on the highway 200 kilometers and it showed me 40 to 50% at arrival, and I got there with 20%. So yeah, that's not very useful, to be honest. Other than that, the speed limit chime can be deactivated from here. Otherwise, the driving monitor system, you have to use this command and this one, and every time you start the car. The climate unit is inbuilt. It does have purification, which is nice. It always shows the information in here. The seat heating in the back or in the front, or the steering wheel, or the ventilation of the front seats can be accessed once again through here. So yeah, all in all, it's alright. It does tend to be quite snappy, and I like it. Well, the fact that you do not get all the controls while using Apple CarPlay, it's a bit odd, but anyway. Lower down we have a wireless phone charger that is actually with ventilation. This is just a storage space. The gear selector is up here with park function. You could start or stop the car from here, or just by pressing the brake pedal. The hazard lights, I'm not a fan that are in this area, and it's not a physical button. Anyway, you also have an auto hold function. I don't know why, it's an electric car, but anyway. The region can be adjusted from here, but I tend to leave it on high. The driving modes are adjusted from here. You have a volume rocker and some quick shortcuts for the climate unit. You do get quite a deep cup holder, both sides actually, and you could raise them, and they're also adaptive. I like that. The armrest does hold quite a big cubby, and the glove box, which once again is covered with a soft material, is also covered on the inside. It's quite large, to be honest. What else? The passenger seat can only be moved up, but the driver's side can also be get up just the front part of the seat, not necessarily the whole seat. And also it does have extension and lumbar support, which the passenger doesn't. Anyway, yeah, pretty much it's a comfortable car. You do get those adaptive dampers that are frequency dependable, something like that, meaning that you cannot control them using the infotainment screen or the driving modes, whatever. They tend to listen to the road, and they adapt accordingly. In most scenarios they're fine with the 20 inches that are mounted on rims that are mounted on this car, especially if the bumps are not so deep. They tend to absorb the imperfections quite well. But if the bumps are a bit harsher, then yeah, they're not amazing. Once again, considering the weight of the car, I mean, they do have to deal with quite a lot. Other than that, the noise insulation inside the cabin, I feel it's quite on par with some other models from this class of vehicle. You do get double glazed windows only in the front, and also acoustic glass for the windshield, which is something that I felt was missing from the Seal model. I'm not sure, but I felt more noise inside the cabin, to be honest. With this one, not the case. The mirrors are a bit noisier because they are larger, but other than that, you don't get a lot of tire noise because you sit upright, quite far away from the tarmac, actually. So, yeah. That bumper, nice and floaty. It does feel like a comfortable car. The steering feel, it's not necessarily very precise, but it doesn't have to be. It's not that sort of car. Even though any input in steering gets translated to the wheels quite quickly. Even though, yeah, the back tends to come after you a moment behind. Once again, I'm putting this thing on the weight. It's not necessarily a light car, so anyway. Other than that, the brakes are easy to use. I do feel the lack of one pedal driving mode. That would be appreciated in my opinion, but anyway. You do get an auto hold function, even though it's not needed because it's an electric car, but they wanted it to feel more like a everyday petrol engine car. So yeah, quite interesting. I'll pause the video for a moment. We are back. I had to make a quick pit stop as I've encountered a friend, so yeah, I had to say hello. But getting back to the review, we are actually going back on the highway, so I'll do the sprint from 20-30 kilometers per hour towards 140. That's it. The performance, it's more than enough. But once again, let me make a bit more light inside because the sun has started to go down. Once again, it's not necessarily a performance vehicle. It's not a performance car. It's quite comfortable, well insulated, and it happens to have a bit more over 500 horsepower. Yeah, I know. Anyway, it's gonna nag me if I won't turn off this system, driver monitoring system. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that you have to always go into the settings and turn it off, but European Union legislation. Anyway, what else? Well, in terms of maintenance, it's not much to talk about. Obviously, it's an electric car, so yeah, you do have to go and check the battery every 2 years or 30,000 kilometers, and probably you will replace the brake pads because it doesn't have one pedal driving. It doesn't recuperate a lot of energy, to be honest, and obviously it uses the physical brakes to stop the vehicle to a halt, and also the tires are gonna be replaced quite sooner rather than later because, once again, it's a quick car, it's quite a heavy one, so yeah. But that's pretty much it, and it's actually, once again, one of my pro attributes of the vehicle. Reasons to buy it. It won't give you any headaches, at least in the first 5 to 10 years, probably. I don't know afterwards, because it does have quite a lot of tech, and maybe that's an argument against buying it. The fact that it's a bit overcomplicated in some ways. The software might get old. Not the software, the hardware that the software is running on might get old in some 5 to 10 years and might get some bugs, might get some glitchy moments there. But once again, other than that, not much to worry about, not much to talk about. The price, I reckon it's quite on par with some of the competitors, but you do get quite a lot of car, and nevertheless a vehicle with that feeling of well-built product. That's my take from this review. So yeah, I also have the Skoda Enyaq Coupe RS available on the channel, which is actually a competitor to this model, and if I remember correctly, a small review of the Tesla Model Y, so you could check that one out as well. Well, that's gonna be it. So Until next time, thank you for watching.